Let's take a look at some examples of using Wakelet in your classroom. The first two examples are collections that you could use in your classroom for teaching. Both of the samples have the layout designed with columns. In the first collection, the columns are for an organizational purpose and are divided into specific learning outcomes. Students could easily refer to the examples given while working on an assignment. If you set your share settings so that your students could edit the curation, you can invite students to ask questions where an example might still be confusing. Not only would it give you an opportunity to offer feedback to the student, but this would also allow other students to offer their peer support. In the second collection, the columns are meant to invite student feedback following a lesson. This would not be taken as a summative grade, but could encourage students to reflect on their learning and explain the concept according to their understanding. It also gives the students an opportunity to evaluate what areas of the concept are more confusing to understand. The third collection is an example of a question from CBC inviting responses from teens to current event issues. Using an online tool like Wakelet will provide some students time for thinking on formulating their opinions, to listen to their peers, and then evaluating their response given the information provided. To access a collection, a user does not need to have their own account. You can share the collection via a join code, QR code, Google Classroom, or Microsoft Teams. As the owner of the collection, you can change the settings at any time. Your personal collections are not public until you have chosen to publish the collection. In the previous video, I mentioned the app smashing abilities with Wakelet. Here's another example of using the template to use quizzes to promote interaction among the students. As well, one of the apps that works with Wakelet is Immersive Reader. And so if you have students who read a language other than English, check to see if the languages that they speak and read are included as one of the languages for Immersive Reader. You could use the question I've provided or change the topic to one that better fits your classroom. What are some habits or healthy practices you want to encourage among your school community? In this example, I'm showing how I can add an image as well as text to respond to the question. Give your students some time to create their own curations too. They could rank their favorite topics learned in class, or a board could become a dialectic journal among your students.